Are you fucking kidding me? Welcome to AFKM. I'm Victoria Sharp, and baby, we got a lot to talk about today. Because while you've been out here trying to live your life, pay your bills, feed your family, these people in Washington have been playing the most dangerous game of chicken in American history. And guess what? You are the road they're playing on. So let's get into it. We are now on day 29 of this government shutdown. 29 days. This is about to become the longest shutdown in American history, beating out the 2018-19 disaster that lasted 35 days. And just like that one, this one is about Donald Trump wanting something and being willing to burn down the whole house to get it. Here's what's really happening. The federal government shut down on October 1st because Congress couldn't pass a budget. Now you might be thinking, Victoria, they're probably fighting over something really important, right? Wrong. This entire shutdown, the one that's about to cost us billions in economic output, the one that's got air traffic controllers calling in sick and federal workers missing paychecks, this is all about healthcare subsidies. That's right. The Republicans are holding the government hostage because they don't want to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies that help 24 million Americans afford their health insurance. Democrats say extend the subsidies. Republicans say no. And here we are, day 29, with no end in sight. Now let me tell you what this actually looks like for real people. Federal workers, 650,000 of them, are furloughed. Not working, not getting paid. Another huge chunk? They're required to work, but they ain't getting paid either. Air traffic controllers, working. TSA agents, working. Border Patrol, working. But their paychecks? Gone. And you know what House Speaker Mike Johnson said to them? Well, I appreciate their service. Appreciate their service. Not, we're working around the clock to fix this. Not, we're going to make this right. Just, I appreciate your service. Like, that's going to pay the mortgage, Mike. And here's the part that's really going to make you mad. Members of Congress? They're still getting paid. That's right. They shut down the government, sent hundreds of thousands of workers home without pay or made them work without pay, but they are still cashing checks every 2 weeks. Now, some of them have requested their pay be withheld. Bless their hearts for the optics. But most of them, business as usual. The Congressional Budget Office just released a report saying this shutdown is going to cost us between $7 billion and $14 billion in economic output that we will never get back. That's billion with a B. And real GDP growth in Q4 is going to be 1 to 2 percentage points lower than it should be. For what? For a political staring contest. And you want to know the most infuriating part? The Senate has voted 13 times to advance a bill that would end this shutdown. 13 times. It's failed. They need 60 votes. Republicans have 54. They need just 5 Democrats to break ranks. So far, only 3 have: Catherine Cortez Masto, John Fetterman, and Angus King. The same 3 every single time. Now I can already hear some of y'all. But Victoria, the Democrats are being obstinate. They should just vote to reopen the government. And to that I say, let's talk about what they're fighting for. Because context matters, and these talking heads on TV keep leaving that part out. The enhanced ACA subsidies that Democrats are demanding be extended? They're set to expire at the end of this year, not next year, not in 2027, in 2 months. And you know what happens if they expire? Premiums for 24 million Americans go up an average of 114%. That's double. For some people, it's worse. Some folks are looking at 195% increases. So when Republicans say Democrats are shutting down the government over health care, what they really mean is Democrats won't let us take health care away from 24 million people without a fight. Let's be clear about what we're talking about here. But Republicans keep saying, we can talk about the subsidies in December when they actually expire. Why are we shutting down the government now over something that doesn't expire until the end of the year? And you know what? That's a fair question if you don't know anything about how health insurance works. So let me educate you, and Mike Johnson, since apparently nobody explained this to him. Open enrollment for 2026 health plans starts November 1st. That's next week. Insurance companies set their rates months in advance. Those rates are being set right now. Notifications about those new rates, they're already in the mail. People are already seeing that their premiums are about to double because Congress hasn't acted. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine you're 61 years old. You took early retirement because of health issues. You and your spouse, you're on an ACA plan because you're not old enough for Medicare yet. You made about $130,000 last year from pensions and retirement withdrawals. You spent $20,000 on healthcare last year. That's insurance premiums, copays, medication, everything. Now imagine opening your mail and seeing that your monthly premium is going from about $850 to $1,700. That's an extra $10,000 a year. Where's that money supposed to come from? Your fixed income? Your retirement savings? That's not a hypothetical. That's Bill and Shelley Gall from Idaho. Real people, real story. And there are 24 million Americans in similar situations right now, waiting to see if Congress is going to let their health care costs explode. But sure, Republicans, let's wait until December to talk about it. Let's let people get those rate notifications. Let's let them panic. Let's let them make decisions about whether they can afford to keep their health insurance. And then we'll have a conversation. That's leadership, right? Meanwhile, Mike Johnson is out here saying Democrats can claim cover now because the largest federal workers union called for lawmakers to pass a stopgap funding measure. Like this is about cover. Like this is about politics. No, sir. This is about people. Real people who are about to see their health insurance premiums double. Real federal workers who can't pay their rent. Real air traffic controllers who are taking unscheduled time off. There have been over 200 staffing shortages reported since the shutdown started, 4 times more than this time last year. And you know who's really feeling this? Federal workers in places like Virginia, which has so many federal employees that this is hitting hard. They're about to vote in their governor's race, and the shutdown isn't even a major campaign issue. You know why? Because both parties are so dug in that everybody just expects this to continue. This is our new normal. Government shutdowns as political leverage. Here's what you need to understand. This shutdown is not about fiscal responsibility. The Republicans passed a $4 trillion tax cut earlier this year, Trump's one big beautiful bill, that added massively to the deficit. But now they want to draw a line in the sand over $40 billion a year in ACA subsidies? Please. This is about ideology. Pure and simple. Republicans have been trying to kill the Affordable Care Act since 2010. They tried to repeal it, they tried to defund it, they tried to get the Supreme Court to strike it down. All of that failed. So now they're just going to let a key part of it expire and pretend like they had no choice. And the White House? Oh, they're being real cute about it. They put up a government shutdown clock on their website blaming Democrats for holding out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures. Let me say this slowly for the people in the back. Undocumented immigrants are not eligible for ACA subsidies. They never have been. That's a lie. It's a talking point designed to make you mad at the wrong people. And gender mutilation procedures? That's not what's being discussed. That's inflammatory language meant to distract you from the fact that they're about to make healthcare unaffordable for millions of Americans. So here's where we are. Day 29 of a shutdown that's costing us billions. Federal workers missing paychecks, air traffic controllers calling in sick, SNAP benefits about to run out for 42 million people. But we'll get to that in the next segment. And all of it, because Republicans would rather shut down the government than help people afford health care. Vice President J.D. Vance was just on Capitol Hill saying, "We just need 5 Democrats to stop arguing and vote to reopen the government." But what he's really saying is, we just need 5 Democrats to abandon their constituents and let us take their health care away. And that, my friends, is why I started this show with, "Are you f***ing kidding me?" Because this is not normal. This should not be acceptable. And the fact that we're all just supposed to shrug and say, well, that's politics, while people's lives are being destroyed? That's the biggest joke of all.